We are live. This should be a very, very, very good game. We have the Olympians versus the Raiders. The Olympians are a new team, but they got a lot of familiar faces. They are the old Generals, and they actually have a couple of Knights on the team. Well, definitely Trey Norman was one of my top targets last year on the Knights. And then we have the light blue jersey. Dion was actually going to play with the Knights before the last fall season, and unfortunately some things happened. He was not able to play. We have Darius Fair in the blue shirt, no jersey. We have Antoine Payne, a returning Pro Bowler, two-time Pro Bowler, formerly of the Generals. Good flag. There's a very, very good flag. Good pull by the Olympians. Number 27, Hollyman. Like I said, the Generals have made up most of this team. They split, and some of the other Generals are still playing with the Generals. The quarterback Chris Brown is still playing on the Generals, and a couple of others. We have number 12, Cunningham at safety, opposite Trey. Oh, I have a pass breakup by number 1, Trey Norman. Pass was incomplete by Perez to number 17, Guevara. 3rd down and 4 yards to go. The Olympians are going in coverage. They're going with Payne as the primary rusher, running basically a 4-cross, 2-deep safety. Switching it up. Linebackers. Rush coming from the outside. Carlos is rolling out. And that is an incompletion. That was a good disguise of the blitz. A rush came from the outside. Carlos tried to step up, but unfortunately lost control of the ball. No, he got his flag, so they are moving him back. I believe it is 4th down. It is a sack. The Olympians are going to be pretty tough on defense. They have pretty good defenders. The secondary is definitely strong. Probably want to attack the middle of the field with the one rusher. You should be able to buy some time and just pick up when that outside rusher is coming. And we have a flag on the play. Delay a game. So they are going to move them back. And one thing with Carlos, sometimes if you frustrate him early, he will make some mistakes. So if they can keep that pressure on him and keep him confused back there, you can't give him time to sit back there and dissect you or keep running the same thing at you. He'll figure it out. Have a ball on the field. Play snap, 2 rushers coming. Carlos is stepping out, buying some time in the pocket. He's going to hurl one deep, and it's going to be batted down and knocked incomplete. And we have a flag on the play. And it's going to be looks like they hit the quarterback's arm. And, yeah, unfortunately, that's going to be an automatic first. It would have been a good defensive stand by the Olympians. And the Olympians can be a strong team. Unfortunately, I heard their quarterback went down. I believe he tore his ACL meniscus as well. So definitely a injury that's going to sit him down. There's a 6-month waiting time on that. I know that because before I played with the Bears, I had that surgery. We have a deep pass. Number 17 drops the pass. You can't put that pass any better. You cannot place the ball any better between a tall defender and a safety that's driving down on the ball. Trey Norman has ball skills. He had 2 costly picks last year with the Knights against the Raiders in crunch time on Carlos. And that was a risky pass and a good pass by Perez. And that shows that he has a short memory. He'll sling it. All right, so we're going to go with Zeke Pedraza at quarterback. normally a center or a lineman who can really work the middle of the field. He's going to try it. Quarterback's going to put Busby in the backfield, which I don't agree with. Definitely don't want him to crowd the backfield. Keep him up on the line. Good rollout by Pedraza. He's going to run. Zeke's got good hips. And he's going to get past the first down. Good job to tuck the ball and run. Good job. Sometimes 5 yards add up really fast, so good job. Nothing was there. Don't force it. Take what you can get. Gonna have first going into the goal. Zeke is going to step up and call a play. Now, ball snapped. Has a man in front of him, doesn't want to take it. Going to take the deep ball to the corner. Terrible pass. Don't like that pass. What he should have done is took that matchup to fair. If that corner is going to play 5 to 7 yards off the ball, you take that every time, especially going into the goal line. Might want to adjust his depth, get Busby up a little bit to chip that defender, and take Trey Norman right here in the slot on the quick pass and let him work. He has great hips. He's holding the ball. He's going to throw it, and the pass is incomplete. You got to get comfortable back there. Good defense by the Raiders. You definitely don't want to start throwing balls in the secondary because one of those will get picked off. We have a correction on the earlier. Number 9 is actually number 5, Michael Reed. Looks like he has pretty good ball skills. They also have a returning safety back there, number 18. I believe that is John Hickman. And he got injured in the game versus the Knights last year, so I think that shortened his season. And we have a flag on the play. I'll find out what that is. It looks like it's going to move them up. Might have been running into the quarterback. All right, so now we're going to stack. Looks like they're going to stack 3 receivers on the left side. Offset formation here. Oh, they're going to actually try a field goal. Okay. And he drops the snap. He should have went for it. I'm not a big fan of this field goal rule, but, you know, hey, it is what it is. I definitely would have went for it, and I definitely would have ran that offense a little bit differently. You got to take the quick catch and runs. That makes those corners come up, and then you attack them deep. If you do it opposite, sometimes you find yourself just running in, throwing into coverage back there because they're playing so far off. So the Generals are going to be back. The Olympians are going to be back on defense. Olympians are going to have a pretty stout defense. Number 12, Cunningham, was one of the top corners in the league last year. Now he has moved to safety. Darius Fair was a pretty good corner with the Raiders, and he's at corner. Like as mentioned, we have Dion on the right side, Trey Norman at safety. Definitely a pretty good safety. Normally plays corner. Carlos is going to scan over the defense. He's going to roll. Oh, and almost picked off by Norman. I said Norman is definitely going to be a good addition to the Olympians. Came from the Knights, so he's definitely going to bring that ball hawking, fast-paced play. Hopefully doesn't tell any of our secrets. All right, so we're going to have a man in a star position. Anytime you see a receiver back by the quarterbacks spread to either side, we call that a star in flag football. And it really confuses the defense because you have to honor that, and they get open right down the seam just like that. And number 10 is going to run. He's still going, and he stopped short of the 20. And that's the thing about that star position. When it goes back there, when you send 2 rushers, if that guy goes up that seam route, he's going to burn you every time. So it almost pulls that rusher and it spreads that defense open. So definitely have to change your defense for the star man. All right, so we're going to go into the second quarter with the score 0-0. Really good game so far. Both teams struggling to figure each other out, get something going. If you're just now tuning in, the Raiders are returning a lot of familiar faces, a couple of new additions. We have number 5, Michael Reed. He is a new addition to the team. Number 18, Hickman, is returning from his injury that he suffered last season. So we're going to have the Raiders taking the ball on the 37. Ball is snapped. Perez is back. He's going to throw it to that star man. He drops the pass. Can't drop that. And the Olympians might have to figure out a way to stop that star, because one of those is going to get popped for a big gain, or it's going to open up something over the top. And we have another game following this. We're going to have the Knights playing the Sharks. Carlos back. Payne is rushing. He's getting blocked by Payne. Good catch by number 17 in traffic, Guevara. Very good catch in traffic. Made up for an earlier drop he had. It's going to give the Raiders a first down. Fisher's going to spot the ball at the 25. Whistle is blown. You have 25 seconds to snap the ball. Sometimes it seems like a long time, but when you're trying to look over the defense, it's not that lot. He's going to take off, straddling that line. He's going to throw the deep ball in the corner, just overthrown in the back of the end zone to number 2, Allred. Good job of tiptoeing that line by Carlos. Like I said, he is a veteran player. He's been out here. He's played before. He's 2-time Pro Bowler, 2-time Offensive Player of the season, so he's definitely a good quarterback in the league. 7:33 is the time left in the second quarter. Looks like the Olympians are going to switch up the defense a little bit. They're going to go match up. They're going to slide Dion inside. They're going to rush Payne from Carlos's right side. Looks like they're going to try to force him to his left. And the Raiders are probably going to send number 88 across the middle of the field. He's wide open, and definitely a risky pass right there, and he had Rosa Cruz breaking open in the middle of the field, wide open. And that's the thing, when you rush a quarterback to their non-throwing hand, it's hard for them to throw back to the middle of the field. And not to sound too arrogant, but I can make that throw. But even the great ones miss throws. So the Raiders are going to try to get something going before the Olympians do. Ball is snapped. Payne's coming hard. Got him. Carlos made the double move, and it gave Payne just enough time to get around number 36, Santos, and get the sack. And the thing is with these Olympians, they have some good guys. You throw that ball up for grabs, it's going to get snagged. Number 12 is a Pro Bowler. Trey Norman is a Pro Bowler. Dion, if he would have played with the Knights, he probably would have been a Pro Bowler. He's a very good cornerback. He was a good cornerback for us. We've been playing to get with him for about 5 years. So, and the thing, him, Cheeky Johnson, Lewis Blackwell, and they all played here, and they were part of the 2012 state qualifying team for Saginaw High School. So they're very familiar with this turf, and Dion was one of those players, if I'm not mistaken. And we're going for the field goal. Number 10, Bolton, I believe, is going to try the kick. It's up, and it is good. First field goal of the season, I believe. Yes, this is a first field goal of the season. It is cause for a celebration. He made it. Looked like it was going to fall short, but it snuck inside the goalpost for the 3 points. putting the Raiders on top 3-0 over the Olympians. All right, we have the kickoff coming soon following the first field goal in Mid-City's flag football history. I'll have to mark this date down in the record books. Oh, and hit him right in the chest, and he dropped it. First field goal was completed by the Raiders, Matt Bolton. So he will go down in Mid-City's flag football history. First made field goal. Yeah, because there was a terrible attempt earlier. We won't even talk about who tried it. We only remember the ones that matter. So the Olympians are going to take over. They're going to try to get something going. Raiders are going to send one rusher, looks like Poe. Zeke is back. He's going to roll out. And he's going to be stopped short. I definitely do not like the way the Olympians are running their offense. You definitely don't want to have Busby back in the backfield with you. You want to have him on the line to chip that rusher to give him time. They're only sending one rusher. You're giving him a free one, and then when he gets in the backfield, it's just too much confusion back there. See, and pass complete to Dion, just over the 50. He had a wide open receiver. Number 2 was wide open. And that's the thing, when you bring that person in that backfield, they can crowd your space. Artavius Hayes was the receiver wide open down the field for the Olympians. You got to bring that rusher up on the line of scrimmage. You want your action going on there to give you a clean pocket. Right there, good quick pass to Trey Norman, and he's going to do what he does, make people miss, and he's going to be stopped short. Good flag pull. And there's some confusion on the field. We have Chris Johnson. He's causing confusion as always. Cheeky. Returning player of the night's Pro Bowler. Oh, good field. Throw it to Payne. Oh, and he's going to fling it up for Norman. It's going to be knocked down by number 5, Michael Reed. And the Olympians are struggling to get something going. I believe we have second down. We have a trips to the left, sorry. Zeke has a clean pocket. Good pump fake. He's going to run. Oh, he's going to get a big gain here. And he makes a miss. Oh, good flag pull by Rosa Cruz at the 24, looks like, depending on the referee spot. Good decision to run that ball. Good decision to run the ball. Definitely don't want to throw anything up for grabs. Like I said, the Olympians would have they would have a shot if they would just put Busby up on that line of scrimmage. Pugh is having a clean run, and he's getting back there, and it's making Zeke have to double clutch. You want a clean pocket back there. All right. Oh, good step up. He's going to run it. Good hips. And looks like he almost lowered his shoulder. Zeke definitely plays with a chip on his shoulder, a competitor. And the Raiders are a feisty group. So the words will start slurring coming soon. Rosa Cruz, he's already talking, so, you know. Like I said, he's definitely a chippy one. we have Payne playing center. I would probably have Busby playing center. Using Payne as my dump off. We got a stack over here. 2 receivers in close. Trey Norman in the star position. We'll see how the Raiders defend this. And we have some confusion here. So we had to have a flag change. They're going to give Payne a chance to get some new flags on. Whistle has been blown. And they're going to call the timeout. Good decision. And it looks like Pedraza is going to call him in, try to get something going. And unfortunately, the Olympians were looking to be one of the toughest competitors to the Knights, along with the Raiders. And then unfortunately, in a preseason game, they lost their quarterback. So we'll see how that plays out. And we'll see the Knights later without their starting quarterback. They're going to actually feature one of the players that I mentioned earlier that played here, Lewis Blackwell, number 26, Pro Bowler last year. He's going to actually fill in for Ray, myself, today. So we'll see them coming up after this game. Zeke rolling out. He has Trey Norman, and he's going to get stopped short of the goal line. He had Dion on that crossing route in the back of the end zone. Zeke's not really a quarterback. He's filling in, so once he gets a little more comfortable back there, he'll be able to see that. He can get just a little more time, but Dion is definitely a person you can throw it up to, and he'll go up and get it. Looks like we're going to go with the bunch formation. The Olympians going to bunch him. When people bunch, you got to watch for the out-breaking routes and then the quick turn in the middle of the field. And there it is again. Dion in the back of the end zone. Same play earlier, and he's going to make the – oh, no. It's incomplete. Good defense by Suave. And, yeah, as I was saying earlier, he had him earlier wide open, and they chose to come back to it. And, unfortunately, I think the Raiders were onto it. But it was definitely there again. Maybe a little less air under that ball. Fire that in there, and that would be a touchdown. The Bears are going to go with the bunch formation again. We're going to have an out-breaking corner route on the outside, and that's the thing when you run a bunch formation and you don't keep anybody in, you have nobody to block, and it's really hard to find an open receiver when you're scrambling for your life back there. So they're going to have the turnover on downs, which is going to give the Raiders the lead still with 20 seconds left. The Raiders are up 3-0. 20 seconds left in the second quarter, going into halftime. And the Raiders have all the timeouts. They might take a couple of shots and see if they can get down the field, get in the range. Matt Bolton did kick a field goal earlier, so we'll see how they play this. Perez steps up, and he is sandwiched. And he is going to be marked down. Timeout offense, going to try to get something going. So Raiders are going to talk about it. What I would do is watch out for Hickman. Definitely a taller player. Can get those jump balls. So I'd watch him on on the inside seam route. Because if you send him right up the seam, he's going to be one-on-one with that safety. Cunningham is a good player, but Hickman does have very good hands. And there he goes up the seam. And they're going to throw the jump ball to Bolton on the outside, and it's going to be incomplete. A little more air into that. Might have worked out. And what you want to do is you want to hold that safety with that that inside receiver. And once he breaks that linebacker, you want to keep that safety in the middle of the field and attack them on the outside. Unfortunately, the ball is just a little short. We're going into halftime with the Raiders on top 3-0. We'll be back in just a second. Mid-Cities Flag Football. All right, we are back. Mid-Cities Flag Football on a beautiful Sunday. Have the Raiders on top of the Olympians 3-0. Have the kickoff, nose dives in the fair. Fair's going to look for the pitch. He's going to stop short right at the 50. And if you're not familiar with flag football, it's actually a very smart play because you get the short first down. You stop the ball short of the first down, and normally people will take their shot on first or second down at a deep ball because you have the short line to gain. So it's a very good strategy. A lot of veteran players do that. So if it looks like they're just giving up, that's why. And we have a bad snap on the play. Got to get the ball to the quarterback. Rule number 1 before you can run your route. Got to secure the bag. And that is going to push the Olympians back just over the 40 at the 42. And we have an Olympian showing up late to the party. Definitely could have used him earlier. And they're going to run a star with Trey Norman. Zeke has a clean pocket, able to roll out now. Should have took the dump off to Dion down the field, but he's going to run for the easy first down. And that is a good play by Zeke Pedraza. And when you have time like that, you got to take a shot down the field sometimes, especially on those first downs, short downs. And the Olympians are going to be just over the 50 with the first down. 20 the game for the first. He's going to dump it to the star man, Trey Norman. Trey Norman making people miss. He's still going. Stop. Just over. Short of the 20, actually. Field is marked a little differently. I don't know what that's about. We have love song dedications to other teams. We will report back on that later once we figure out what's going on. And Zeke Pedraza is going to step back, throw the ball to Dion, and he's going to be stopped short. A good decision to take the quick slant coming across your face. Just over the first down, going to give the Olympians first going into the goal. Titanium, I believe, are going to be up next against the Knights. Sorry, Titanium will be playing the Knights next. Knights, the returning champions in their new uniforms. Formerly wore the black and gold. This year are going to go with the white and black. Zeke is going to step up, throw the pass to Artavius West. Oh, he's going to make someone miss, and he is in for the touchdown. Good pass by Zeke Pedraza. Correction on the name. That is number 2, Artavius Hayes. My deepest apologies. Good catch and good hip movement to get in for the touchdowns, putting the Olympians up 6-3 pending the conversion. Looks like they're going to go for it. They are not going to kick a field goal. Zeke running out to the left to call the play. Has Norman lined up in the star. And Zeke is going to run. Good hip movement. Makes a miss. And he's in for the 2-point conversion, I believe. Oh, and they called a flag guarding. I definitely didn't see it, but they made the call on flag guarding. And that's the thing with some of the shorter players, man. If they can move their hips and you reach, they will teach. Because it's hard to get low running across your body. So have to stay disciplined, square them up. Okay, and I'm confused at what happened. I thought if it was a also okay on the flag order, they are going to repeat the down and move them back. Zeke takes a snap, Going to go to Norman. Norman is one-on-one with Suave. Like the matchup, and Suave actually wins this matchup. Good flag pull to stop the conversion. He's seen that move before. Norman and Suave had some matchups last season. Norman winning the majority of them when he played with the Knights. Suave is definitely a competitor, though, and I'm calling him Suave because that's what he had on his. I know that's not his name, but we'll call him Suave. His real name is Smith. John Smith. All right, so we're going to have the Olympians kicking off 4 minutes and 36 into the third. Remaining in the third. Dion with the good kickoff. He was actually a kicker here at Saginaw High School, believe it or not. And Rosacruz is running, gonna make a move. He's still up. And Payne with the flag pull. Payne's definitely always around the flags. Quick player. He was defensive player the first season. And a Pro Bowler. And we'll be featuring the defensive player of this year in the next game, Marcus Johnson. Definitely a big improvement. He had 52 tackles. He played with the Bears. Unfortunately, his season was cut short with the Bears due to a hip injury. He put in a lot of work being a new person to flag football. He's definitely one of the hardest working people on the Knights. And overthrow outside by Perez. It looks like they're going to put one of the returning players, number 11, Corey Holman. Definitely a taller, faster player, good receiver, good ball skills. So definitely this side with him and Norman. Oh, looks like they're going to make another switch. They're going to put Cunningham back in his natural position at corner and move Corey to safety. Good move. Gives you a taller person. Carlos is going to run. Oh, missed flag by Dion. Artavius Hayes with the flag pull just over the 50. This is definitely turning out to be a good game. Looks like the Olympians are getting some people, some players in. It's going to make it a little bit harder on those Raiders. The Olympians are a tall team, a rangy team, very rangy team, and they have some speed as well. And it looks like they're running 2-4-2, so it's basic cover 2. They're going to send 2 now. Middle of the field is open. Oh, and he drops. Oh, he caught that? I don't know. That was incomplete. I was going to say, if they gave him that one, I don't know. We have to check the instant replay. We'll be working on that soon. But it looked like it was incomplete to me, and they're going to call it incomplete. It looks like Carlos is struggling a little bit, sending 1 rusher, definitely, and sometimes sending 2, keeps him off balance. The height and the speed of the Olympians is going to be a problem for a lot of teams. Because that's, as a quarterback, that's one of the things you don't want to see back there are tall, rangy guys that like to go to the ball, because it makes your room for error very small. Those windows get a lot smaller. 2-man rush. Perez is going to step up. He's going to take it, and Payne goes down and gets the flag. He's seen that move before. He has played against Carlos Perez a bunch of times. They have had a lot of battles as well, so he knows that move. Payne has been putting in some work, and he is definitely a good rusher. He got me a couple times. Good. Busby with the good flag pull. Oh, no, sorry. That is number 27, Holloman, with the good flag pull. It is 4th down. And the Raiders are looking a little off balance. Perez back, looking over the defense. Two people coming. Holman steps inside, gives up the outside. We got a flag on the play. Perez is still running, tucks the ball, gets around Norman. Gets the first down, pending the flag. We have a flag. Hold everything, hold everything, hold everything. Hold everything. Hold everything. It's a flag on the defense. They're trying to figure out where they're going to mark the ball. Looks like they're going to go just short of the 20. Okay, so we have an extension on the defense. Still working on the spot. Yeah, we'll have to check that. They got to take the ball back on the flag. They can't give them the yards and take the yards on the flag on an extension. We'll get a correction on that rule here in a second. They'll figure it out. Looks like they're gonna mark it 4th and 5. 20 the game for the first down. 1 second left in the third. Right now, the Raiders' offense is looking for a spark. Perez is having to do it with his legs. I mean, like I said, the Olympians have a very good secondary. It's going to be tough to throw in those windows. So it's going to be an interesting matchup with them and the Knights. I wish they had their quarterback. The Knights are without their quarterback right now as well. So we'll see if that is the storyline when they meet. I believe they meet in week 5, excuse me. And we're going into the fourth quarter with the Olympians on top, 6-3. All right, 4th down. This is a crucial play right here. Perez is back. Looks like the Olympians are going to send 2. They might drop Holman back in coverage. I know Payne is definitely coming. Olympians are playing up. Oh, and it's going to be picked by Dion. And, oh, good flag. And like I said, Dion would have definitely been a Pro Bowler with the Knights. He was one of our shutdown corners. We really look forward to having him that season. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, but he's going to make a name for himself real fast out here, I promise you. And he's going to pick that off and take it back just over the 50. And like I said, that Olympian secondary looks pretty good. Pedraza's going to step up, pitch off to Busby. Busby's going to get what he can get. He's going to keep going, and he's going to keep going. You got to pull the flags. You have got to pull flags, and he's going to swag it out a little. Celebrate, big man rumbling down the field. And he's going to get down just short of the goal line. He has his fan base out here. His wife's doing a dance. Everybody's happy. 1st and goal, Olympians going in. If they can get a score here, it might be crucial. Quick rush on the left. He's going to run the option with Norman. Norman's going to cut that back inside. This is dangerous. He's running out of real estate. They're going to surround him, and he's down. If Norman would have looked up, he had Dion sitting there. He could have had that throwback. Norman sometimes doesn't like to pitch the ball. That was one of the things we had with the Knights, but he did make one of the best pitches of our whole season and really swung the whole game against the Indians, who were actually down going into halftime. And he made an amazing pitch to Kennel Jr. And he ran it in for the touchdown, and then we went on to win 34-16. Throw to the start man. Trey can throw it. He's going to throw it, and it's going to be batted down. It's going to be batted down. And the Knights are letting him have it on the sideline. Like I said, a former player of the Knights. Still our brother, but we're going to give it to him every time we play him. 7:30 left in the fourth. Clock's rolling. And just to give you the rules on flag football, it will stop under 2 minutes, but it's going to roll until each team will have 2 timeouts per half. So he's going to roll out. He's got a lane to run. He's going to take what he can get, and they got him. And defense calling out his plays. They're saying he's rolling out left every time. So it's all right. Zeke and Fair communicating. We just want to keep you guys up to date that sometimes the clock might be off. We'll do our best to keep that updated. It's a manual process, and we're trying to communicate with the refs. He's going to throw it up. Back in the end zone for Fair, and he did not make the catch. Little too much air by Pedraza is going to give Perez the ball back with just under 6 minutes. We'll get a correct time on that for you. We'll keep you updated. We have a really good game here. If you like flag football, please share it. If you know somebody out here playing, check it out. Everyone's just trying to have fun, stay healthy, stay in shape, and keep competing. Flag football is definitely growing with other leagues popping up, cash money leagues. Mid-Cities actually does do a couple of cash tournaments as well. So we invite everybody to come out. It gets competitive. Check us out online. MidCitiesFlagFootball.com, Facebook, Mid-Cities Flag Football, where we stream all of our games live and try to give you up-to-date commentating and accurate scorekeeping and time management. Raiders are going to take the ball. 2 blockers, 1 person in the backfield. Really shortens what you can do. He's going to take the out-breaking route for the short completion to Hickman. He is down. Fair with the good flag pull. Hayes was there to surround him. And Perez is going to have to figure something out with these Olympians because he's definitely going to see them again. You don't want to start the season down too much because you have the returning champ, the Knights, and then these Generals look like the Olympians, look like a pretty good team. The Vikings are looking like a pretty good team. So competition is definitely stepping up. Gonna take the dump off to Santos. Santos, big man, got moves. Don't let him fool you. Makes 2 people miss. And that's the thing. You think a big man can't move, and he'll spin on you, and then all of a sudden he's going by you for another 5 yards. You got to stay disciplined, square him up, and get the flag. And for all of you at home that thinks people are moving slow, I promise you, when you're out there on that field, everything's happening a lot faster than what it looks like at home. And everybody's faster on the field. Perez looking for pump fake. Going to take the seam route. And going to take the completion just short of the first down at the 40. It's going to be second down. .340 left in the fourth quarter. Perez looking to get something going. He's going to keep attacking that seam route, which I don't blame him, all the way up the field until you do something to stop it. He's going to keep taking the check downs. Olympians are looking to find the answer for that. Gives the Raiders another first down. And mind you, we already had the first field goal made in Mid-Cities flag football history. If it gets down to it, this win is at his back. He possibly could do it again. We are 3:10 left in the game. Perez back, making him roll right. He's going to take the dump off across. Rosa Cruz stopped by Hayes. And that clock is still going. Remind you that the clock does not stop until under 2 minutes, and that's on incompletions. The Raiders looking to get back in the groove of things. Carlos is just making them check down. He's taking his check downs, taking what the defense gives him. Oh, and the ball's up for grabs. And he makes the catch. Touchdown, Raiders. That was costly. And I'm very surprised that got completed because Holman is normally a very good defender. I think the wind might have pushed the ball. If you've ever played out here, that wind swirls on this field because there's no buildings to block it. So sometimes those balls, they'll hang up there and then all of a sudden they take off another 3 or 4 yards over your head. And a good completion by Perez to hold that ball and let something develop down the field. And it looks like they're going to go for 1. Perez back, rush coming. Payne traps him in. He's going to take the dump off, and he drops the ball. Rosa Cruz, normally a sure-handed receiver, drops the ball. Puts the Raiders up. See if they're going to get the come-from-behind win. They are now up 9-6. Interesting spin. That field goal might come into play. It might come into play. I know I said I'm not a big fan of it, but I might be proved wrong. Yeah, Rose Cruz is definitely going to give us some push-ups for dropping that ball. All right, we got the Raiders up. 1 minute, 37 seconds left in the game. Kickoff return. And what you don't want to do is kick it to Norman or Dion or Holloman in this situation. And they're going, oh, no. No. Well, if I'm not mistaken, did that bounce twice? It bounced twice. Oh, good kick. It bounced twice, so that's going to pin them back right inside of the 1. Costly, 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 costly. Great kick. And the Raiders definitely seem to have the momentum now. See if the Olympians can get something going. First thing they want to do is secure their quarterback, make sure he can get some time to look down the field and use one of these targets. Me personally, I would definitely take this matchup on the corner over here, and probably this matchup on number 10, Dion on Bolton. I definitely will line Norman over here on Suave and have him with the one-on-one. He won a lot of those matchups for me last season. I would definitely, if I was Zeke, look to exploit that matchup again. And we have a breakup on the pass. Risky pass, Zeke. You cannot float that ball. Cannot float that ball. And they're going to run a bunch to the left side. Zeke's going to roll. He's going to take the dump off to Norman. Norman's going to be out of bounds. Out of bounds. Underneath 20. He stepped out of bounds. I don't know what that call was about. It's 4th down. 1:20 left in the game. Zeke takes pass, under pressure, 2 people coming. Bad pass. He's got to get some pressure. He needs to bring Busby back in there to chip, do something. I don't know why he doesn't have Holloman in there to chip. He's definitely somebody that can chip and then release and catch a pass. The Raiders are already talking. Like I said, they are a chippy team. Play with a chip on their shoulder. The best way to shut them up is to beat them. Turnover on downs. See if they're just going to run the clock out, which will be smart, because if you throw that ball up, somebody gets it. It could go to the house. Oh, he went right by him and let him go. And he's going to be down, and that should pretty much secure the game, barring a crucial turnover. You definitely can't let somebody sneak up the seam, which the Olympians have let happen a lot today, especially against the Raiders. Stay tuned for our next game coming up. We have the returning champion Knights, the new look Knights, going with the white uniforms this year. Carlos is going to run that clock down, which is smart. Olympians are going to call a timeout, see if they can hopefully get something. Tip ball, anything. Bad snap. Ball game is over. And that will do it. The Raiders get their second win of the day, beating the Olympians in a tough, good game. Good game. 9-6, the final score. Olympians just came up short. And we will be back with our next game, the Knights versus Titanium. Stay tuned, people.